Hello everybody, this is Henry Lee from blueheronarts.com. Today I'm going to show you how to mount a Chinese brush painting done on rice paper or mulberry paper. It's a very thin, delicate paper absorbent. Traditionally we'll mount it with wet wheat paste. It takes a long time to dry, and for some artists, they're a nuisance to do. And today we're going to show you again the method I've been using with a silicone paper for dry mounting. So we'll need a piece of backing paper, which is you can get from our website. It's cotton for permanent support. And then we put a silicone paper with the adhesive film facing the surface. Because this is going to be a floating style framing according to the customer. So we don't need any extra margin. Just try to be exact. So you can make a larger one, then cut into the size. But first thing you need to do is to put the silicone paper on the surface of the backing. The backing paper comes with a rough side and a glossy side. We use a matte side this time because I think if it's exposed for any reason, it would be a little nicer natural than glossy side because there's no matte touch the covering the edge of the finished work. So I choose rough side this time. And I iron the back of the silicone paper to activate the adhesive film. You can start from the center and expand to the corners and then the edges. After it cool down a little bit, let it cool down a little bit, and you lift from one corner to make sure that the silicone film stays on top of the backing paper. If it's too hot, you'll see some sticky glue come off. So that's why you need to wait. And just pull it from corner to corner, like so. And before you lay it down, remember the side that's facing the silicone is facing the table or the working area. So this is the way it comes out. Because this side is anti-sticking. It's a little bit more glossy. And so when you mount the painting on top of this, and you will need the release paper back on top. So that's why if there's some exposure of film right there, it will stick on the piece if you use the wrong side or other alternative. However, there is an alternative paper that's even better anti-sticking for this purpose. It's got parchment paper from for your kitchen, you know, for bakery. So you can use a piece of parchment paper instead of the release paper that comes with the silicone. Okay, as you can see, to make it perfect, the backing paper must be a little bit smaller, so it shows the decked edge the best. So I'm going to cut this extra margin off. Before I mount it, because if you mount it, it will be you'll have a clean cut. It's not easy to get to keep the decked edge. Okay, let me just cut it first. So this about that much. It's not perfect square, you know. It's so I just estimate. It's about that much. Put this back on. Just try to be exact. A little bit smaller, maybe. It's fine. Okay, that's about it. I trust my eyeball more than numbers. So I just usually just measure it with my eye. If it's, you know, if there's some deco in and out edges, so it cannot be straight. So there will be a little bit exposure somehow in the middle. I think maybe some part is a little bit larger, so that's okay. Now we need to spray the painting with a little moisture or clean water. You don't want to spray inside this table area. You hold the paper like vertical, and then spray it about 1.5 feet away from the bottle. You just spray like this outside the table. Just misty moisture. Try to avoid large drops of water. Just let it relax. Let it relax. I spray the front side. If this is absorbent paper, it will penetrate through. And you don't want to wet it too much to the extent that you have to spend more time to dry it. But you want to spray it evenly, especially if the area have heavy paints. So to relax the tension, because the shrinkage will be different. Okay. Let it set, you know, like a half minute. And then put this back on. This is, I call it the release paper from the silicone film, remember? We got from the first step. So it's a challenge to keep the decked edge Normally we'll have larger area, larger film and backing papers, a little bit larger, which will be covered with matte. In this case, the client wants a floating frame, so we need to be careful with the extra margin. Okay. Put this back on. And you can just kind of flatten it with your palm. And you can do so with a cool iron also. The iron is now set to silk. Start from the center in a circular movement first, and then to the sides, and then the corners. This is to drive the air outside. Do not lift the iron, just covering large areas as soon as possible. Drive all the air out. Don't trap the air bubble. And then after it's all flattened, and then activate the adhesive by keep ironing. And also remember the moisture that I spread require more time to evaporate, to dry with the heat from the iron. So it may increase the time of iron if the moisture is excessive. You might iron more than 1 minute. Normally it should be 1 minute. If the iron is set at silk, each iron may be different. Sometimes I set between silk and wool. And some people may like to work slowly, some like to work quickly, but if the iron is set too high, it might create some problem because it may burn the paper if it's too high, or set too fast. And if it's too low, it may not enough to activate the adhesive. You need to make sure the water is dry, because when it's wet, the adhesive is not fully activated. Okay, I'm going to peel off the covering sheet and see. Oh, beautiful. There's no wrinkle, and the color has been enhanced. You can see everything is perfect. Okay, sorry for the shake. Okay. So because the backing paper is 80 pound, it's designed for scroll, and you can roll it still. And you can use heavier paper like Bristol paper, mixed media paper, or watercolor paper, if you like. A drawing paper, if you like to use. We also sell the same kind of backing paper that we carry. It comes with a shiny side or the matte side. You can choose each one, either one. I think the gallery, the mounting or the framing store, they like to use the shiny side because the adhesive is easier to attach. But I think for this reason, the painting may like the matte finish, because if there's extra margins, it will not shiny. That's the reason I use the rough side, and I hope the client are satisfied with this project, including the mounting is special customized. Thanks for watching. See you next time.